Oh, I didn't plan this out properly, but whatever. Guess I'll work on that now. That's funny. Still don't quite have this where it needs to go. Okay. I wasn't prepared. I was prepared, but I wasn't like fully prepared. I was only like slightly prepared. But anyways, I'm gonna try to. There we go. That works. Oh gosh. So we'll get logged in. That's not even what we're looking at. I'm gonna be looking at my schedule and my calendar now. It is time. Anyway, so I'm hopping on here because this is 2024 and it's time. It's time to make some money. Yay. But I actually jumped on here because I know a lot of my teacher friends are on breaks or they're getting back to doing what they need to do. And I'm off now from my regular day job. We are not, like, y'all, I'm working on it. It's getting better. It's getting better. It's getting better. But anyway, so I have been, like, throwing in a mix of my content. As you know, I used to be a teacher, and I left out of the classroom, and during that time frame, I started to sell digital products. So think teachers pay teachers type stuff, but also stuff like planners and templates. And I actually just did my first notebook on Amazon KDP. And so I have been coaching other teachers and other so far all female, so I can only speak to what my experiences are, but I have been coaching other teachers and like other women who are wanting to do the same thing in how to do that, how to set up their own storefronts using StanStore, and how to make their own money online selling either digital products that they make or using products that they have PLR or master resale rights or private label rights to, and how to do that. And so I just wanted to hop on and talk about that a little bit because it's the new year and a lot of people have been inboxing me and asking questions, and I was like, what better to do than jump on a live and try to explain or answer questions that people might have about I put some nail hardener, nail strengthener, because we're on our whole getting our nails done journey here, and I just took my sticky press-ons off. So but yeah, we are on our journey, so I just wanted to make sure that I answered any questions that people have had. I will answer like some of the most common ones I get, which is, how much does it cost to get started? It depends, right? Depends on the route that you take and what it is that you need. Everything is linked in my bio, but I also will like take phone calls. So like if people have questions, they're able to just, send me a message and ask. I don't shy away from that. But master resale rights I get that question like, what is that? What is PLR? Private label rights is when you're able to take a product and rename it. So it's just like regular private labeling. So when you go and see ketchup at the grocery store and there's like the Walmart version and then there's Heinz and you're like, oh, they taste exactly the same. It's because they are the same thing, and Heinz is allowing Walmart to put their label on the same exact product and charge less. Because honestly, people will still buy something if your label is on it just because you're a brand they trust, whether the product is exactly the same or not. And that's just the nature of the beast. It's what we do all the time. Personally, I do that because I'm a quick trip gas person. And if you told me to go to, the Joe Blow gas station down the street, I understand they're probably all getting their gas in the same place. I'm still going to Quick Trip. It just is what it is. So it's kind of that brand awareness type thing, and you build your own brand using social media, or if you already have, some sort of a fan base or social media following, then, it works like that. It's also great for people who are looking to monetize their content. So, and what I mean by that is for example, especially with teachers. Hey, Mr. Questions, long time no see, right? I'm trying to do better about going live. But so what I like about digital products when it comes to teachers is a lot of times we hear about teachers pay teachers, which if you've watched any of my videos or you've talked to me in person, you know I am not a teachers pay teachers fan, because I don't like charging people for, I know I'm trying to do better. I have been doing better. But I don't like charging people for things that they actually need in the classroom. I didn't do that when I was a teacher. And so when I would make products, I would make them and sell them or offer them for free. So, and I've gone and looked to see like how products that I've made on Teachers Pay Teachers are selling, and they do just fine. Like, people want them. So I look at it as, what are things that I can offer that I could sell, right, that don't cost me a lot of money. So I do use Canva. So I make a lot of my own stuff, but then I have things that I've gotten private label rights to. And with private label rights, you are able to modify them a little bit to fit more your voice. So it's kind of like a done for you. You hear that a lot, done for you digital products that you're able to then like adjust and make them your own, and then offer them to whatever audience, or, you know, as long as it makes sense for what you're doing. So if you're a teacher and you're on TikTok and you talk a lot about classroom management, then offering a guide or ebook or whatever on classroom management obviously makes sense. And if it's something that you can make one time and make it a quality product, because that's one thing I don't like, is when people give me something and it's like all misspelled and stuff, like that's real janky. I know stuff happens, but if it is real bad, that's janky. So anyways, you go and you do those things, and then you offer it, because other teachers, obviously, we want to know about digital products. And the other thing about it, or we want to know about classroom management, right? So if you're offering me an e-guide that I can just pull up and I can read through this PDF and get what I need to know, it's kind of a no-brainer, because I don't have to work, you know, hard. I'm getting the information that I was going to be getting from you anyway. And I'm getting it from a peer versus getting it from a professional development who doesn't know me. So there's that component, right? So the types of things that I offer are things like how I navigated my way out of the classroom. I also offer my notebook. I have a digital planner. I also have courses on how to get started in this, and I have an e-guide on that as well, or an ebook on that. It's like 70-something pages of this is how you do it step by step, right down to affiliate marketing. And I say all that to say, these are ways that teachers can supplement their income. And I speak directly, you know, mostly to teachers, because those are the people that I am closest to, being that I am recently removed from the classroom. And that is who my following is, pretty much on all of my platforms. Things I don't do, that people probably want me to do, and that you probably have seen people do, is like flashing around how much I made or whatever. Like, I still have a full-time job. Let me be very clear. I have a full-time job, but I also feel like, why would I give up my healthcare benefits if I don't have to? So people that are like, oh, I quit my job after 3 months of selling this online guide for $5 to 50 million people, that doesn't make sense. You know, you got to think about, like, I just feel like people need to think about what they're being told. I'm not screenshotting, you know, my Stan Store income, because everybody's, what they get is not going to be the same. And I don't feel like that's not the right thing to do, in my opinion. Because you never know, like, there's people that started after me, or people that I've helped, and they may do better than me this month than a different month. Okay, that's fine. All those, it's not a competition. You know what I'm saying? It's not a competition. But what I am saying is that, you know, it does really change. And I feel like for me, when it came down to being a teacher, one of the issues that I constantly had was being in the classroom and not having enough money, not being able to get what I needed, not having like enough time on my hands to do the things I needed, and not having enough money at the end of the month. Like, we would get paid at one end of the month, and by the third week I was, you know, tapping out. And I have 2 kids that play sports, that are doing all these things. Exactly, we can all win, and that's the goal. Like, I can't compare myself to the next person, because we're not the exact same 2 people, not talking to the exact same people. Do I want my business to grow? Absolutely. Do I know that my business will only grow if I get more customers and I come out of my shell and do things like go live and talk about it? Yes. Is it always comfortable? No. To be fair, because, you know, it's just weird. it's weird. It's weird, but when I get a lot of inbox questions, or I get people texting me questions or emailing me questions, then I'm like, okay, it just makes more sense to like do something like a live, because then I can download the live and share it on YouTube or repost it here. And then people do come and ask me those same questions I just answered in my live. So it's kind of like being in the classroom for real again, because we don't listen to one another either. But whatever, by all means, ask me the same question again and I'll answer it again. But whatever. So anyways, I'm going to talk to y'all while I edit some stuff that I need to be editing, because, yeah, life still must go on. But those are the type of questions that I get all the time. Is what is it? How does it work? What do you do? Is it profitable? Is it useful? Things like that. And to that I say everything is. Oh yeah, so I recently started doing that. I recently started downloading my live, because TikTok didn't used to do that. So I started downloading my live and then posting it on YouTube. And I've actually had, it's not, granted my YouTube isn't like getting a bunch of views, but I have gotten people to come back and asking questions. That's pretty much where we are right now. Like, people just have a lot of questions about what it is, because I think it's not new. Advice to get your first sale. I think the first sale is always the hardest, but you have to keep in mind who it is that you are trying to sell to, and really think of it more of like how to serve that person. How, if you were selling it to you, why is that product good, right? Like, I think about Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A makes all the sandwiches the exact same way, but people go back for the experience. They know they're going to get in and out quick. They know that they don't even have to check their bag. They already know. I know what to expect. So I don't always get the exact same thing, but I always trust that whatever I get is going to be a good quality product. I don't check because I trust that. So I think building that relationship and that trust is what's going to bring you back. Because when people ask me, oh, what do you want for lunch? Chick-fil-A. It's a no-brainer. Oh, you want to stop Chick-fil-A? Where would you like to eat if I need something quick? Chick-fil-A. I don't care how long the line is. I'm willing to wait. You know what I mean? So you build the relationship. So think about, how can I serve this person? Because it might not be, Chick-fil-A is so real, right? I love Chick-fil-A. But it might not be like, try to give you a good example. If I was to come to you and you have a product, maybe I'm not looking specifically, I can't talk for that product, but you have something that you're selling that maybe I wasn't interested in, but you're teaching me already through your other content. You're present, you're relatable. I might be apt to sometimes people will just purchase from you just to support you, just to say, dang, she's always right here, like showing me what to do. She's always present when I have questions. She's answering them. She's not, gatekeeping stuff, because people hate the gatekeeping. But I just think you be honest about it. But think about what you offer and who your products benefit. And then you take that customer, you drop down that person's characteristics, that customer's characteristics. So if it's a teacher who is teaching ESOL students, and your product is, say, something that is supportive of those students, why would an ESOL teacher want this specific product? Why would I want it? What can I do with it? How is it beneficial to me? If I'm a parent, a mom, obviously I am, why would I want this thing? Can I use this to support my family? What benefit does this provide to me? And when you start to change your perspective and put yourself in the position of the customer, what am I looking for? Then provide that. And then they'll come. It might take, some people it takes a couple months. I know, and then don't just share it on one place. Like, get your little Etsy shop, put it on Etsy. Get your Stand Store, put that in your link in bio. Get you a Beacons, which honestly I'm torn right now between Beacons and Stand Store, because they really do the same thing fundamentally for digital products, but Beacons has other stuff that it offers if you're a content creator as well. So there's that side of it too to consider. But honestly, put it on Stand, put it on whatever platforms, put it on. Beacons has that, Stand Store has it, Etsy. Even though Etsy's kind of over the top, I won't lie, Etsy is so saturated. Etsy is annoying. I would not lie, but if I wanted to put something somewhere and forget it, Etsy is where I would do it. And the reason I would do it is because it's low overhead and easily accessed, and a lot of people go to Etsy all the time. So if I'm looking for a template for something, or if I want to make a t-shirt, if I'm looking for a digital planner, a lot of people will go to Etsy. Now, granted, are you going to see 9 million before maybe I get to yours? Sure, but there's still a shot in the dark. So when I started my Etsy shop and I put, one product on there, I got oh, okay. So I put, when I went on Etsy, I got a sale my first day. Low ticket item, which was fine. I thought it was kind of weird, honestly, but I'm guessing that it just happened to work that way, that I put something out there and I got my first sale on Etsy. But I didn't get a sale for another like 2 or 3 weeks. But I will say this: if people don't know you have a product to sell, or if they don't know you have something, it doesn't matter how good it is. They don't know you have it. There's nothing to talk about because they don't know that there's anything there to discuss. So there's that part to keep in mind, which is something that I tell people all the time. So you just gotta throw it out there. Now, and I think that I also feel like one of the things I notice is people that sell digital products or make digital products seem to always be in competition with each other. Now, I touch on this often when I have conversations with people. It's not like I don't want to be in competition with you. I want to support you. It's really like, that's my take on it, So if, like, I've met someone who has something that I thought was great, and I was like, I never would have thought to put this together like this, and I really liked it. So I bought it from her. I'm not even looking to resell it. I just wanted it because, one, it supports her, and two, it was actually something I liked that I didn't have to create myself, and it was a nice little thing I want. It was something I wanted, just a little guide to just kind of give me some information that I was looking for, and I didn't have to go digging around. And it was, one of her lower ticket items. But one, making a sale always makes somebody feel good, for one, and for two, you served my purpose. Like, I had a need and you filled it. End of story. And it only cost me like $8. Okay, good to go. There's no harm in that. And then you tell other people about it. So that's how I look at it. That's me. That's how I see it. Everybody's not the same. I also think there is a such thing as having too many products in the beginning, and not having any products in a mid-range cost-wise, which I have seen a lot of people start off doing that. So we all buy, like, I know one of the higher ticket items was the roadmap course, right? Roadmap was not the highest though. Roadmap course like $500, and you get it, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, all I gotta do is sell it to one person, get one person to buy this thing for me, and then I make my money back. Yeah, that all sounds good in theory, except you've made no money because now you're at zero because you bought the course. You actually had negative like $200 because you bought the course. Then you had to get the stand store, which is gonna cost you $100 a month to set up the way that they tell you to do. They ain't tell you all that, Like, there's pieces that people don't tell you, which is lame. But you get in there, you do all these things, then you get it all set up. So by the time you get just setting everything up the way that the roadmap tells you to, you're negative $700. So really, you got to sell that course twice to make your money back. And what you find out later is that, oh, I probably should have something in the middle. Like, you learn, it's one of those, digital products is one of those things you learn as you go. But it's also, that's business. You learn as you go. Every time. Same here. I base mine on, like, kind of how long it took me to make it, how much would I spend for it at the store. So, and I'm gonna touch on that because that's the one thing that kind of pissed me off about Amazon KDP. I'm not even going for it, but I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to why Amazon KDP pissed me off with the pricing. But you have to have something in the middle, and I think one of the other things that people sleep on is with Stripe and through Stan and through Beacons, you can have payment arrangements or payment plans. And with the payment plans, those are basically done through either Klarna or Afterpay or ShopPay, depending on what people have, right? And people don't realize that. So, and I say that because again, I'm going to go back to my target audience. My target audience is the people who are already following me, essentially. So it's educators. I'm going to speak to that. A lot of them still have not been paid for the first time in 2024 yet, right? They won't get paid until literally Monday, if I'm not mistaken. Like, let me look at this calendar. Yes, no, I'm sorry. A lot of teachers, at least in my area, won't get their first paycheck until January 31st, right? So that's still another week away. So with that being said, so they're going to start getting paid between this Friday and next Wednesday. So you also want to think about when you're positioning your items for sale, when should you start to really start having those conversations? You want to start, I hate to be this way, but you guys start thinking about it like when people have money, but it's also how can I be budget friendly, because we all know teachers don't make a lot of money. We know that people aren't trying to spend a ton of money, but they do want to invest in themselves. They do want to grow. It's the beginning of the year. So honestly, right now, if you're someone who is trying to help people to grow a business or teach them about e-commerce or things like that, now is a great time to start having those conversations, which I didn't even think about it when I jumped on this live to have this conversation. But I actually jumped on here because I had 2 more messages from 2 different people, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and go live and answer some questions because I'm done with work, so why not? But you want to start thinking about when, because it's business. It is a business at the end of the day. No matter how good and well-intentioned you are still in the business of making money. And at the end of the day, if you offer your services, like for me, my coaching is free. I don't charge for that. If you purchase something from me, I'm going to help you through it. That's what I'm going to do. I don't care if it takes me 20 phone calls with you, 22 FaceTimes, and 700 emails. That's what we're going to do till you get what you need from me. That's just what I'm going to do. I don't have a problem with that. And I have people to this day that still would text or call that I work with. And I don't have an issue with that. Because I just feel like that's part of it. Make sure that the customer is happy. Because then when you need something else, you're going to come back. And you'll be like, oh, well, Nikki, do you have something that does this? Like, I have a lady that I helped her build her first journal. She wanted to have a digital journal. I said, fine. I helped her build the entire thing. We sat there on Google Meets, and I was building it for her through Canva as she was telling me what she wanted to look like. And then I said, okay, I'm going to send you this design. You take it, you make a copy of it. I'm going to delete it on my end. And she was like, no, you're not going to use it. I said, I don't sell planners like that. That's not what I'm doing. So I'm just doing this for you. Like, these are your ideas. I'm just trying to organize them for you to help you out so you can kind of see the process. That's all I was trying to do. And she took it and she ran with it, and now she has it listed on her storefront, which, cool. She bought a $17 product from me. That's all she did. And that was fine with me. And I'm not saying that to like boast on myself. I'm just saying it's just what I did. And you can ask her yourself if you want to. But I'm just saying. So it's just it's not one of those things where I'm just doing stuff to be doing it, or I'm saying whatever. That's why I just don't feel like you don't have to be flashy about it. So Amazon KDP. This is my experience. I'm only speaking of my experience. Other people's experience seems to be different, but there are some people who have had the same experience. So I'm just going to speak for me and my experience with Amazon KDP. I created a planner that I normally, well, not a planner, but a teacher notes and gratitude like journal, basically like a everyday, just jot down, these are the things, like something I would use in the classroom. And it's 185 pages. Now, Amazon KDP will print everything for you. So I made it, exactly how I wanted it to be. Okay, did all that, and basically it forced me to list it at a certain price. So it's $15.99. Amazon KDP would not let me list it for less than $14.69 because that's what they said. Like, literally it wouldn't. And I in any other day, that thing would not even cost $10. Like, I just would not have ever charged more than $10 for it. But Amazon KDP was like, nah, girl, if you want this on Amazon and you want us to print it, $14.69 off the rip, and then you figure it out the rest. So now, in my opinion, to me, the notebook is not overpriced. So I don't know if Amazon is kind of like doing that on purpose to kind of, right. And that's what I did. $15.99, and they were charging me $14.69. That's $1.30. I was just like, this is ridiculous. I was a little saucy about it, honestly, just because I felt like it wasn't that. It's not. I didn't think it was that deep. To me, it's not that deep. So I don't know how I'm gonna manage that beyond right now. It is posted on Amazon. If you are wanting to spend $15.99 for a 185 page notebook, because I intended for it to be 1 page per day of the school year, which was what I was thinking, then by all means go for it. But honestly, oh, you're welcome. Absolutely. Thank you for joining me. But I just couldn't, I don't know. I wouldn't pay $15.99 for a journal, so I was kind of mad that it was forcing me to charge that, to be fair. But yeah, it's one of those things. Other stuff. Also, I've only listed one thing because I just kind of want to test it out and see how it's going to go. So I didn't want to invest a bunch of time and energy into something if I wasn't going to be in it long term. I don't know. So it's a paperback. It makes it easy. Other things that are important is like, oh, okay, I just got my tickets from Eventbrite. I'm so excited. Anyways, the other things that I feel like are important are keeping a record of the products that you actually have and tracking them, like whether you use some sort of a Google sheet or something like that, because otherwise you're gonna get lost in the sauce. Let me look at these other questions. Oh, organizing your content, whether that's on a Google sheet or some sort of a Google document or some sort of a social media planner where you can plot out like your post, for a few days in advance. I recommend up to a week in advance, honestly, because otherwise you're just randomly posting stuff and you have like I don't want to say you have no vision, you just have no direction and you have no plan. So planning out your content for at least a week in advance is super helpful. Now, recently I was told to post up to 20 times a day on your social media platforms in order to increase your reach. Now, personally, I have noticed myself that when you do that, when you are posting to try to increase your reach, so one thing I've noticed is that, like, at least for me on TikTok, is that my videos do well with the people that are following me, but they very rarely reach the For You page. And when I say do well, I mean that 1% of my following will see my content. Now, is that how you want it to be? No. Is that what tends to happen? Yes. Is there anything you can do about that? Also, no. So what are we gonna do? Cry about it? No. So you have to figure out how to increase your reach. So and what you want to do is make sure that you're creating content that is engaging, that is fun, and it's not always so salesy. Now, I've seen content creators on Instagram where the only thing they post is salesy content. I'm not a big fan of salesy content, but sometimes it looks good, right? Like, I'm not even a front. Like, there's a couple girls on there that do really good with it, but I wonder often how their content would translate to other platforms, because I never see them on any other platform doing the same thing. I only see them on Instagram doing this one particular thing. People have asked about faceless content, so let's talk about that, because before I talk about anything, I will test it out. So, faceless Instagrams, faceless TikToks, faceless Lemon8s, faceless YouTube channels where the purpose is to sell. For me, I'm going to be very clear. For me, I'm not a fan favorite. Not a favorite because it doesn't feel personal. It just feels like there's just like random scenes It's just random of this or random of that, and there's no personal connection because there's nothing to be connected to. I'm not saying that faceless accounts can't be. I'm not saying that faceless accounts can't do well, that they can't make sales. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that I find it very challenging for a faceless account to be successful. I think you have to work 3 times as hard to get a faceless account to really pop off, because you're gonna have to do a heck of a lot more work in order to do that. There are people who absolutely love faceless Instagram. I don't. And that whole hold the phone like this in front of your face while you doing videos, that's not faceless to me. I can see you. I don't know if y'all can see them, but like you can still see. You know what I'm saying? Like I just think that's such a. If it's gonna be faceless, let it be faceless. If you're not gonna be faceless, then don't be faceless. But can we choose one? Like, I know I can't be the only person seeing that happening. I just know I'm not. I can't be the only person that sees those Instagram accounts that are faceless like that. And they drive me nuts. But like I said, the whole purpose of me going on was just kind of to answer some of the questions that I have gotten via DM or via email or in person from people who have asked questions about how to start with digital products. Now, I will also say that your freebie needs to be good. Don't have a crappy freebie. Your freebie should answer questions. I should be able to take your freebie and whatever the thing is that is whatever your high ticket item is, your freebie should, 1, lead me there, and 2, it should be well done where I get just enough of what I need to get started, but not enough to be great, if that makes sense. So for me, I'm a person who I'm all about having that digital business and like establishing that and helping other people do the same thing and providing, like I do dabble in like other things like making templates and things like that for people, right? Cool, bet, got it, right? But, and I do a lot of like the done for you, like I have stuff, right? So if you wanted to, get into it, talk about it, let me know and I will show you. But if your freebie is trash, like your freebie is like, because I did this. I started off with a trashy freebie. My freebie sucked, my first one. So my first freebie was like a social media, like cheat sheet kind of thing. Because I didn't know. I didn't have nobody to school me and teach me what to do. So I sucked at it. My freebie was trash. So my first freebie was something like that. And it was like 2 pages. Because I'm thinking it's free. And I didn't need to put a lot of work into it. Okay, you gotta think about it like this. So I was thinking my freebie was great because I wasn't having to do a lot of work. So I felt like if it's free, I don't want to put that much energy into it. So that's what I did my first one. And I realized very quickly that people were losing interest. They would get my freebie and then they were just like crickets. They didn't want to talk about it. And I was like, well, why don't they want to talk to me anymore? Why is it they're not answering my emails, or why aren't they responding, blah, 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 right? Okay, well, it's because the freebie was trash. And then I did buy the roadmap course because I didn't know any better, and I jumped on somebody else's live and they were like, oh, the roadmap is great and this is how I got started, and this changed my life. Okay, cool, I'm glad it changed your life. Now I'm not gonna front, the roadmap is great, I will not lie, it's great, and it has taught me 90% of what I know about having a digital business, being on social media. It has pushed me out my comfort zone. It has given me a lot of things. Won't knock it. It is very good. Okay, it does exactly what it's intended to do. But the thing about that was I got it, and once I understood, okay, my freebie needs to be better than just a little couple of pages that says, hey, do this, everything's great, social media, post on there 3 times a day about your business. That's not it. Okay, it's not it. So I revamped my freebie, and I was like, what is it that if I wanted to start a digital product business, what would I need to know? And I was like, I need to know how to actually use Canva to make this money. How do I even get started with doing this? So that's what I switched my freebie to. So I got all the stuff I knew, put all my things together, kind of sat down and really got real with myself, and developed a freebie that works for me. And it has since been able to generate a lot more leads. And then I was like, and then I only had my freebie and then this high dollar item. So I'm just telling you about my pitfalls, right? So I had my freebie and then I had this thing that was $500. And I really couldn't understand why I couldn't convert that. But then I could convert an item that was like $15 or $20, right? Because why can I do one but not the other, right? Right, you know what I mean? So then I realized I didn't have anything in the middle. And so if people didn't have $500, they would get the freebie and they wouldn't return because they didn't have $500. So then I was like, how can I explain to people like, hey, if you are someone who uses Klarna and you want to make this investment, cool. You use Afterpay and you want to make this investment, cool. You can do that with this still with this product. The problem is that those things aren't advertised until you get into it and actually try to go through the sales process. That's when you see it. So, and I was like, how do I position that? So I didn't want to, be advertising, making a payment plan per se, but I did want to find a way to do that. So that's kind of how I did it. I started just, letting people know like, hey, I see that you're interested in this. I see that you looked at this. I know we sent the email. Hey, just so you know, I also offer, you can also use Klarna and Afterpay to purchase this product if you would like to. And then it breaks the payments down. It's like $124 per payment or something like that. And you know what? That's what kind of started people starting to respond a little bit more, because now it's a little bit more feasible. Because if I tell you that, hey, after Klarna is going to let you pay $124 to get something that's a $500 product, and you can get that product today, you're still going to, once you pay with Afterpay or Klarna, you get your instant download, you get everything you need, and you can start taking the courses, right? It's a whole course, tells you everything you know. You can start doing that today. Cool. Then I was like, what if someone doesn't need A to Z, they just need like F to M. They know enough. They don't need the backside. They just need a little bit, right? They've got kind of started. So I was like, well, how does that work? And then I said, well, I want something that's kind of a mid-range, like $100 product, something I can sell, get and sell for like $50 to $100. And so that's what got me to my Ultimate Guide. And that I ended up pricing, I think I have it on sale right now, but that ended up being, I think, if we're talking number of purchases, that has been my better seller. If we're talking about, dollar wise, obviously not, because a $500 product sold one time is still $500, whereas it's going to take 5 times for me to sell that $100 product to get to the same amount, obviously, right? So, but if we want to talk about the number of sales, the number of people who've purchased it, my Ultimate Guide has done it better. So I think that you need to have a freebie, a low ticket item, a middle of the road item, and then your high dollar item, regardless of what type of product that you sell. And I think that if you're someone who is not selling if you're selling a course, think about the price of your course if they were to go somewhere else, like a college to take that course or some professional development to take that course, and price it accordingly. I think that anything over $500, I really need to be getting like some sort of a certification for it, honestly. It needs to be a skill I can use like in the workplace. If you're offering me a course and I can't do anything with it other than, I don't know, jump on Instagram, I'm not staying for that. But if the course that you're offering me is something I could then turn around and use in the workplace, then I'm gonna do it. And I'm more likely to do that. But again, you have to have people understand the value of it. You have to understand, what it's like to have that. So outside of that, I'm supposed to be editing. I'm still not doing that. So outside of that, let's jump into kind of some of the nitty gritty of things, right? So at the end of the day, people already know that digital products is a big business now. Who is this? Oh, okay, my bad. So people already know that it's a big business. It is a growing industry, and we live in the digital age. And there's enough people, and there's like 57 million users of Instagram. I know we talk about that. People talk about that all the time. And You just have to know that. You just have to be okay. You have to be okay with that and just be ready to dive in and get what's yours, right? If we're going to sit there and act like there's just not room for one more, or you don't have something to offer, if you have an idea, just go for it. I feel like with digital products, it's a low point of entry but a high reward. Excuse me, if you take your time to do it. If you take your time to invest in it. I know there are teachers who have great resources. Y'all, I don't even know why I'm coughing, because I'm really not even sick. I'm saying that as I'm coughing though, right? It's hard to believe, right? But there are teachers that have really great products to offer and services to offer and things that they know how to do that they are willing to show you and teach you. But they don't. And I think they don't because they don't really know how to position themselves, or they don't want to. And that's fine too. But for those that want to, break into digital products or have or be able to monetize their content, because that's what it is. You want to monetize your platform. So and don't think that your platform is too little to monetize. So people that want to monetize their platforms, digital products is a great way. So this is a question that I get from other content creators all the time. If you are a content creator, if you're a teacher creator, whatever type of creator you are, you're a content creator on here, on Instagram, on YouTube, monetizing your platform, you can have one follower. If your intent is to be a content creator, you need to start thinking about how, what is your niche, and then how can you monetize your platform? What are you an expert in? What are you really good at? And then how can you capitalize on that thing? And how can you turn your followers into your customers? We say that all the time. It's not always the easiest thing to do, but it is doable. It is profitable, and it is necessary. That's the reality. It is necessary to do. So being I don't know. That's just how I look at it. You have to be able to figure out how to monetize your platform, because you can't be waiting on the creator fund or YouTube's, become a YouTube creator, or Instagram to finally pay you for your reels after you get 100,000 followers. That's too late, because after 100,000 followers, hell, honestly, if you ask me, after 15 followers, I need to be figuring out how am I going to monetize my content. Now, my last thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to get off this live because it's really early and there's not many people, but y'all just kind of rolling through, so I'm just whatever. Is don't quit your day job. I saw somebody talking about this, and I 100% agree with them. If you can afford, or you can functionally work your business and be a content creator and have a full-time job at the same time, and your full-time job offers you benefits, it offers you, stability, then why would you quit? And I only point that out because there are a ton of content creators or people that are in selling digital products and digital marketing, and they'll be like, I quit my job after 3 months. You haven't been in this business long enough to be quitting nobody's job after 3 months and having 3 good months in a row, per se. So they say, right? But if you are in, you're hello. So if you're sitting there and you are saying, if you're looking at somebody's account that's in digital marketing and there's I made $5,000 this month, that's great. I'm so happy for you. And if they start talking about how they quit their job, they're lying to you. And the reason I know that, because ain't nobody quitting their job after making $5,000 in 1 month. If they're telling you they made $100,000 in 1 month, when? How? Show me. Because they lying. I'm convinced they're supposed to lie, because at that point you need a team. If you're making that much money. And the only reason I say that is because when you get to a point where you're able to do that on a consistent basis, there's no way that you're doing it alone, because there's just too many people trying to communicate with you at the same time, and your platform, your business just simply has to grow. And that's how business works. So if they're sitting there I just made $500 at my laptop in 1 minute, girl, okay, if you tell me you made 2 sales a day, cool. You tell me you made 10 sales today, cool. If you make 10 sales of a $500 product today, fine. I'm not doubting those things. Okay? I'm just saying, take with a grain of salt the stuff that sounds like it's too good to be true, because it probably is. That's all I'm throwing out. It's just, if they say something crazy, it's probably crazy. That's just the facts. If it sounds like off the wall, it's probably off the wall. So, you know, be diligent, stay thirsty, my friends, but go get your money. And if you are interested in figuring, you know, starting a digital product business, or you have questions, feel free to inbox me, because like I said, questions are free, and you don't know what you don't know, but you're more than happy to answer whatever questions you have. But y'all have a great rest of y'all day, and I will be live on Instagram at 7 p.m. Eastern time with the rest of the Real Teachers of Atlanta.